Hello, welcome to the Average FPLers, who are myself, Gareth.
Me, Russell.
And Michael.
Hello. So we're doing this is our second video. We're going to discuss players who we think are going to do well this season, and we've done it in the same format as we did last season with our player predictions. So it's player predictions, but it's for the season. And Russ is going to explain how he's come up with the different quotas for the prices.
Yep. So we're going to do two sets. One's going to be a budget set of players. I set some budgets around what we could spend on the players. Theoretically, it was 4.5 for a goalkeeper, 5 million for a defender, 6 million for a midfielder, and 7 for a striker. So basically, the players had to be under that amount. And then our second lot of players we're going to look at is just basically an unlimited budget. So probably our premium picks, but if we wanted to, we could pick a nice cheap player if we think that player's going to do really well in the season. So without further ado, I guess we'll get into it and look at our budget goalkeeper choices. We've got our first double. So both me and Gaz have gone for Sanchez, while Mike's gone for David Raya Martin from Brentford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, I've put Sanchez in my team. I'm hoping that's going to be a good choice. Obviously, Martinez is very tempting, but he's gone up in price. So it's kind of looking for that budget goalkeeper to have in your team now. And I think Brighton were quite good last year. Not their league position really suggested that, but I think Sanchez could be a good shout. I can't remember how much he finished on last year, actually. Should probably check that.
Well, but you have to bear in mind that he didn't come in until, halfway after the season?
Oh, that's true, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean,
we both had him, I think, at some point.
Me and you definitely had him. I know we had him in predictions. I don't think I had him in my team because I had Martinez for the whole time.
I think I had a little while.
Yeah, I definitely had Sanchez in predictions. He's a good player. He's 4.5, and if you go with the second keeper, who's only 4 million, Luke Steele, I think it is, it's only 8.5. And I figured because you set such a low budget for goalkeepers, there's not a lot to pick from for 4.5. So it was either going to be Sanchez or possibly Gaeta, because I don't know if Bachmann's going to stay there for the full season. And then I just thought, I'm going to go for Raya of Brentford, because there are a couple of clubs that tried to sign him over the summer, and if Brentford hadn't got promoted, they would have probably signed him. So I figured that's a good sort of where he is at in terms of his ability. Plus, they're newly promoted. He's going to face a lot of shots, so he might not keep a lot of clean sheets, but it might just be like a Meslier type situation where, they lose 3-1, but if he's made 9 saves, he gets 3 points. So he'll make 4 or 5 points total. So I figured you'd both go for Sanchez, 4.5 budget. Yeah, Raya seems like a good outside pick that no one's going to go for in that terms, in budgetary terms. So I went for it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did, because otherwise it would have been a treble, and then everyone would have been going, "Oh God, they're just all going to pick the same ones now." They're just essentially the same person.
Yep. I mean, yeah. To be fair, there wasn't a huge amount of choice with a 4.5 budget. But that's the thing with keepers. In a way, with keepers, you don't necessarily need the premium. You want that cheap player that's going to make a lot of saves. Hopefully keep some clean sheets. So, I mean, I don't know how good Brentford are defensively.
Well, they've just signed a new centre-back in Aya from Celtic. I like Rico Henry who plays at the back for them. I think he's left wing back, or they might use him as a left full back. He's a very good player. He was one I considered for my team. Again, it's more of in my sense that he just, for the budget, sort of the limit you gave us, I think he might make a lot of saves.
Hmm.
And I just figured I'll go for it. It's a prediction. It's a bit different from how we did predictions last year. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, I could look like an idiot, but who cares, right? I'm sure he'll pick up some points at some point somewhere. Or even worse, he has a real stinker of 3 games and then he's dropped for Thingy, Brentford's sub-keeper. So you can both laugh at me at the end of the season.
Yeah. Sanchez could be bad. I mean, they've lost Ben White. You don't know how their defence is going to be. But
I don't, yeah, but it seems with Brighton, when they do lose a major player to transfer, they just go on. They just keep going. Brighton last year and the year before, it wasn't that they were bad at at defending. It was bad that they were bad at going forward.
Yeah, I think they're steady. I think they're a steady team. So I think,
there's points to be made there. As long as you can keep a calm head about playing, having them all year round and whatnot, you'll get points. A couple of games you won't get points. See how it takes you.
Yeah. And as for the other choices around there, you've got the newly promoted teams, but obviously that's the unknown. Gaeta, I'm not sure about Palace. We've discussed that.
I'm all in.
You're all in. And I weren't picking McCarthy. And is McCarthy even going to play? So
yeah, I wouldn't go nowhere near the Southampton goalkeeper. Sorry, because they're just going to get rotated constantly.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Sanchez for me.
Yeah, Sanchez for Gaz.
So, yeah. Anything to add, Gaz?
No. I think he got into the Spain Euro squad. So on the back of his performances last season. So I should have another solid season. Hopefully.
Hope so.
Good.
I mean, if he did, I could always pivot to him.
All right. So I guess we should move on. Defenders then. And no doubles. So I've gone Danny Rose, Mike's gone Luke Ayling, and Gaz has gone Wesley Fofana. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't more money.
Yeah.
He's only 4.5.
He's quite a popular choice for people this year because of the price, and he's likely to play. I think
he's likely to play because Lee Evans. Jesus, that's not the right name. Johnny Evans is injured. Plus, Fofana was really good last season.
Oh, yeah, he's good. He looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have gone for either Fofana or Soyuncu because Soyuncu's 5 million as well. But Luke Ayling last year was unreal. He should have got as many points as Dallas did. The expected points for Ayling was up there with Dallas's. He just was so unlucky. Like, I think he had 3 goals ruled out that he scored, a couple of assists. He should have got a bunch of assists for Cooper, who just couldn't put the ball away from any kind of cross. I just think Ayling's going to have a great season. He's going to playing right fullback properly now because Leeds got all their centre backs back. And yeah, 4.5 million. I think he might even sneak into my team. And there's something about when his hair comes down. I don't know.
I was going to say, I think you just put him in for his hair, really.
Yeah, I love his hair.
You love the man bun.
I do love the man bun. I've got one going myself, unfortunately, at the moment. But nowhere near on the level he's got. And it was, it's just hilarious when someone snaps his hairband and it just goes everywhere and frightens the life out of some poor soul.
He did score 1 goal towards the end of last season, didn't he? And he took his hair out and then it was disallowed.
That was ruled out.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yep. So,
but I think that's a good shout. Yeah, I think you're right about he probably could have done the same as Dallas, but
he's predicted XG and XA was all up there in terms of statistics on par with Dallas. The only difference Dallas, I guess, had over Ireland was that Dallas did sometimes play in midfield, but other than that, he was just unlucky.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't see Leeds changing from what they were last season. They're not going to suddenly go super defensive. I mean, they won't be all out attack like they was at the beginning of the last season, but they're maturer now that they've been in the league for a season. They've invested well, and I can see them getting some goals.
The second half of the season was amazing. They kind of tightened up, didn't they? They become a different team. So
better clean sheets. The defenders were still getting either goals or assists. Like Stroud got a couple. Ireland should have got a couple. You know, Dallas was still scoring for fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's chances there, and I think he's about as safe as there is in the Leeds defence at the moment because they've got a fair few centre backs, and obviously Dallas can go left back to take over Firpo, but not many can play right back. So he's a 38 game man.
Definitely.
And Danny Rose, I love Danny Rose.
I put Danny Rose in there.
He's 31, but if he's still got the pace like he had, you won't get a full season out of him. He won't play 38, but if he gets 26, 27 games on the level that he used to be on, he could get a good FPL score this year. And at 4.5, he would be a great just to have as an option on the bench, or if, for example, over Christmas when there is rotation, sometimes you know some of your bench options have to come in. Danny Rose would be great if he's in that sort of form.
Yep. So yeah, hopefully it's a bit of a risky one. Got to see. He's not played for a while, but it could be a good shout. He's a forward-thinking defender, so.
Oh yeah, his defensive abilities are waning at times.
Yeah.
You know, everyone always remembers as a Spurs fan the day that he sort of stepped over the ball on the 6-yard box, so it went up through his legs and then straight to the attacker who put it in the back of the net. And you're like, oh Christ. So yeah, he's got form for being a bit erratic, but what he lacks for in that, he makes up for in pace and getting a good cross in.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't know Watford's starting attacker side, is it Troy Deeney? I assumed it was still Deeney, but I think I've looked on the FPL site at their forwards, and I think they've got like 11 players listed as forwards.
They've got loads, and it's hard to tell who's going to play.
I have no idea. That's one of those teams where I probably need to look to see what's going on in terms of their pre-season. But yeah, there's so many listed, and I was just like, I have no idea.
Well, I had a little read earlier, and there was a youngster that played up front because Deeney got injured last year, and this youngster, 19, and I can't remember his name now, came in. But obviously Deeney's back now, so it depends what they do. And the guy that played up front might get pushed out wide, so it'd be similar to what we were saying about Watkins with Danny Ings. Deeney might go up the top, and the other guy will get pushed out wide. I wish I could remember his name. Can't remember it.
You have to remember it, because if me and Gaz are looking at Watford strikers as bench options, or it'd be nice to know.
If I look at their team,
João Pereira, his name is João Perina or something like that.
Yeah, that could be it.
João Perina. He's only 18. Anyway,
4-5-5.
If it's the one I'm looking at, 4.5, yeah.
So there could be a starting 4-5 that's a better option than Obafemi.
Yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of thingy. I don't see Watford playing defensive either. So, and the fact they've got like 11 dudes listed as strikers in FPL would indicate that they probably are a bit more forward thinking. And I think Sarr plays on the side of Rose, so the overlap for those two could result in all sorts of assists.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, should probably move on to midfielders. Oh, blimey. The dog's back. So we got another double. Emil Smith Rowe from me and Mike, and Gaz has gone Jack Harrison. So yeah, Harrison's not a bad shout.
Well, the budget was 6, wasn't it? So
6, yeah.
and he's 6 million.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
As far as I'm.
And I think everyone's looking at like Rafinha and stuff like that. But Harrison actually outscored Rafinha, I think, last year. So that shows.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not either the same price or more. He's less. So
yeah.
Jack Harrison.
Yeah.
Jack Harrison's probably less because he didn't score that many more points. Or did he score? He scored more points than Rafinha, but Rafinha didn't start playing for Leeds until game week 9 or 10.
Okay, yeah. So he was a bit behind, but
he was a bit behind in terms of things. Plus, there were quite a few games, if you remember, where Harrison was hooked at like half time for no reason.
Yeah, Bamford got that as well, which was quite annoying. Yeah,
Bamford got that once or twice, but Harrison got it far more.
Yeah,
but
he was their third high scorer, 160 points.
Oh yeah, he's a great player. 6 million as well. It's a bargain.
It's not bad.
I mean, as a season prediction things goes, he could be a great one. He can play on either flank. Leeds, have invested and got stronger in their attack.
Yeah.
So there's no reason he couldn't. I mean, the only reason I didn't go for him is because I thought you would both go for him. So I went for Smith Rowe, not expecting you to pop up with Smith Rowe. So
yeah, there you go. No, I think, I'm hopeful we can have a good season. And it depends on what we do in the transfer market. But yeah, he might get a lot of games and be quite an important person in that midfield. So, and for 5.5, I think could be a good shout.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the number 10 shirt at Arsenal, new long-term contract. He'll probably play central where Arsenal don't have another player in Odegaard or Maddison, who's the other rumoured one.
Yeah.
So,
and with no European football as well.
Just one game a week.
Less fatigued, so that should
he's had a whole
benefit.
summer to rest.
Yeah.
So I could see Smith Rowe doing quite well, and then either side of him, at least for the first game, it would probably be Aubameyang and Pepe, right?
I'd guess so, yeah.
And then that will change, obviously.
And Saka gets back.
Yeah, and I think Saka will play on the right like he was for Arsenal towards the end, with Aubameyang still on the left.
Yeah.
Although, that's if Lacazette stays. Lacazette's sold before the deadline because he's in the last year of his contract, like Bellerin, etc.
That's
then
true.
Aubameyang may go up front, and then I'm not sure who else you got in your attacking core, but you've got a few others.
Nketiah
Nketiah's rumoured to be being sold, isn't he? He's in the last year of his contract as well.
They're being used as bargaining chips, so
a lot of them are. Yeah, the one that is surprising is Reece Nelson. He might be going to Palace on loan. That's another reason why I'm quite interested in Palace, because they're picking up players that everyone's sort of not really rating. But I think there's, it's kind of like with other teams, they pick those players up and they run away and out, resounding
success. Look what Willock did last year when he went to Newcastle. Absolutely,
who might still end up at Newcastle anyway, because Arsenal want the money to buy Maddison, right?
Yep. So
I think they're literally holding out for Newcastle to pay more than 20 million, and Newcastle are waiting until Arsenal get desperate to need money. There's a game of cat and mouse, which is not helpful for Willock. But Willock's only 21, so I'm surprised Arsenal are sending him, because he scored, what was it, 7 games in a row?
It's ridiculous.
He had such a good finish to the season.
It's mad. Didn't he break Shearer's record of so many games in a row, goals?
Yeah, for a teenager, wasn't it? Or under the age of 21 or 22.
Something, yeah.
I guess the only problem for Willock is he would be vying for the same spot as Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
So So that's probably why Arsenal are going to let him go. And then Maddison comes in. And then Smith Rowe may go to the left and Aubameyang up front.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
If Willock goes to Newcastle, he's going in my team, my actual team.
is he still 4.5, Willock? Because I did consider him for this, but because he's still at Arsenal at the time of recording and that.
I mean, 6 million.
Don't think.
Oh, that's quite a jump then.
Mm.
Because I think he was 5.5 last season.
4-5.
Oh, 4.5. There you go. So,
Willock, 6
yeah,
mil, yeah.
significant jump.
Yeah. It's because he did so well, didn't he? Towards the end
Yeah,
of the
it was
year.
unreal.
I guess they've gone, oh, bang. Here's
I
6
mean,
million.
if they, bearing in mind, if Newcastle didn't have him scoring those goals, Callum Wilson out, they might have gone down, right?
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
So,
Because
This is-
Newcastle's running towards the end was horrendous as well. So, yeah, he well and truly put in a shift for him.
yeah, getting the odd point and then sometimes 3 points that were unexpected, like against Everton.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, yeah, I mean, Willock would have been one I would have picked for the midfield. And I would have gone for Ali, but you only allowed 6 million, so I was
Yeah,
gutted.
what's Ali? 6'5", 7?
6.5.
Yeah. Which is not bad, because if he does hit form...
Well, he's definitely going to start.
Mm.
I don't see him not starting at this point. Nuno's made it quite clear Ali's a pivotal part of the team. He captained Tottenham tonight. You know, everyone around him is being sold en masse.
Yeah, I
bearing
might
in
be
mind,
tempted
Dele
to
Alli-
pivot to him in my
Dele
actual
Alli's
team.
still only 25 years old.
Yeah.
So, and he's got a point to prove. And if he can do it the same way Alexander Arnold has been doing it, there's no reason Dele Alli shouldn't be one of the top scorers in FPL like he was a couple of years back.
Well, yeah, he's got a history, so if he can, if he can find his form again, then he's definitely a player you want in, especially if he's only 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
It'd definitely be my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. See how we line up, I guess. Everyone is expecting Tottenham to go defensive, but I can't see it. It's not the Tottenham way. And we already done like 18 months of that under Mourinho. And we almost all threw ourselves off a bridge.
Yeah, don't want that again.
No.
All right. So, strikers, I guess. And another double.
Another double.
So I seem to somehow be aligned to both your brains because, yeah, you haven't got a double between you, but I share 3 of the doubles. But, yeah, I've gone Ivan Toney, and so has Gaz, and Mike has gone Benteke.
You goddamn right.
Well, I mean, you'd love to see it, and yeah, there's always a potential there because he was amazing when he was at Villa, and
He still scored 10 goals last season.
yeah, I nearly put him in my team last year. He had a run, he scored a couple of goals, and I thought, oh, Benteke, yeah.
There was only one person in the top 10k that had Christian Benteke, and he had him since game week 1 as his third striking option that he just used to put in certain games. And then once the season got towards the end, he kept him in the side. And Benteke was picking up 6s and 9-point returns, and he did really well. One person in the top 10k, that is a differential and a half for a quite frankly a Roy Hodgson team that relied heavily on Eze and Zaha, whereas a Vieira team is not relying on that. He's pushing his fullbacks further forward. Mitchell's already said during the pre-season Vieira's fully encouraging him to be an attacking wing back as opposed to a fullback. They've signed Elise, who's awesome. Zaha's still there for now. Eze will be back from injury soon. If they get Reece Nielsen in as well, and there's rumours that they're going to get 1 or 2 more attackers in, that's just so many sort of options for Benteke. All he's got to do is get on the end of it, and he's a big old lad. He's like 6'3", 6'4". So he's going to be great for crosses, great for tap-ins. You know, I'm not expecting Benteke to be the complete striker. He's just going to get goals. I think he'll get at least 10 or more.
I think half his problem was, Palace didn't create enough for him. So if they start
no
creating,
supply, and they always passed it to Zaha.
Yeah,
Vieira's not going to do that. He's going to have more than enough at his disposal across that midfield and that attacking line that Zaha won't be as heavily focused upon in terms of getting the ball to. So Zaha should have a better season as well for points, because that means that he's not going to be double marked, because teams are going to have to mark other players that are creative. And you saw that with Eze towards the end of last season before the injury. Eze managed to get more space because Zaha was double marked, and then teams started to mark Eze. So Zaha got free and got more goals and assists. So,
yeah,
and that's my thing. I think Palace are the most underrated team this season, and I'm pretty confident they're going to finish about 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
And have they're not going to be low scorers this season.
Their only problem could be bedding in if they're getting a lot of new players, gelling it together.
They've looked all right in pre-season. They got most of them early. That's the thing. They haven't been mucking around. They got them in early. The only ones that have taken a bit longer was finding the right defenders like Anderson and that. So they haven't played a lot. I don't think Anderson's played yet at all, but he didn't play for Fulham in pre-season because Fulham got him right near the end of the transfer window, and he hit the ground running. I think that's one of the reasons they brought him in, because he's a proven, or proved that he could handle the rigors of the Premier League.
Yeah,
and also I wanted Ivan Toney, and I figured both of you would have him because of the set limit. So I figured I'm going to go for something different, something I believe that will probably have a good season.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a no-brainer, Toney. A lot of people have got him. He's highly owned, isn't he?
He's one of the highest owned strikers, like 35% ownership, something stupid.
Yeah, but scored a lot of goals, a lot of assists last year in the Championship.
Broke the Championship record for goals.
Yeah, exactly. So, will he bring that over to the Premier League? Don't know, but there's probably a good chance of it. So, yeah. So I think for a budget striker, it's a good shout.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
6'5". Brentford are an attacking side.
Yep.
Points to be had.
Plus, they've had there's a lot of players that have come out of Brentford and done really well. So he could just be another one. Just he is playing for Brentford still. So
I didn't need to leave now. They're in the Premiership, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm pleased with that. I don't know how Gaz feels. Don't know what Gaz's thoughts were around that pick.
Yeah. Well, he was bought to replace Watkins, who went to Villa. Yeah. And he's gone up with Brentford, so hopefully he's another Watkins.
Yeah.
This season.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Goals that day. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, so that finishes our budget picks. So moving on, we'll get into our picks where we've got an unlimited budget. So goalkeepers up first. And straight into a double. Me and Mike,
obvious.
Martinez. Yeah, it had to be on there. And Gaz has gone Mendy. So Gaz has gone for a premium goalkeeper
last season.
Yeah, I might have misunderstood the point of this. I've gone for the most expensive players in every position.
Okay, yeah, you might have misunderstood it. Yeah,
I thought it was premiums only. So
it was you had an unlimited budget, but you don't have to have the most expensive.
Yeah, so you could have De Bruyne, or you could have 4.5 million midfielder if you wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, I went premium.
So you probably would have gone for Martinez as well, I'm guessing.
No, because I've got him in my team, so I would have gone for.
Oh, we're already getting into that, are we?
don't know, 5. I don't know. I just
Of course, yeah, it's used to, isn't it? You're weird like that. You can't have them in both. So
I
you only
wasn't. I wasn't. Not for this. I wasn't playing that game. Probably when we do the game week 1 predictions, I'll be playing that again.
yeah, they're different. Weekly predictions used to get really funny, but if it's just a season prediction, you think it's going to be the top scorer, I'll just pick who I think it's going to be. And as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be Martinez.
Yeah. Yeah, I've picked players that are in my team at the moment. So. Yeah.
You know, I did consider. I thought both of you would go for Martinez as well, because I was fairly certain both of you probably wouldn't pick him for your teams. And then I thought I could go Nick Pope, but my concern with Nick Pope is that he's picking up a lot of niggling injuries all the time now. And
and Burnley, I think you mentioned it earlier. They've not really signed anyone.
No, they've not really signed anyone of any sort of great emphasis. It's the same team again. They're expecting a lot from very little.
Yeah.
The only sort of excitement around Burnley is Brownhill, which kind of says it all, really. They had him last season, and the only reason everyone wanted him is because he's 4.5 and he's playing a bit further forward. I mean, it's not great, is it? Really, if that's the only sort of level of excitement you've got. And Burnley's backup keeper at this point is Hennessy from Palace.
Is it?
Yeah, and he's shit. So, so I was just like, yeah, Martinez is the standout keeper. The only one other than that I think I would have gone for, and it's just because I'm a soppy bastard, is I might have gone for Lloris, because it's definitely his last year at Tottenham.
Yeah.
So, and Lloris does regularly score well in terms of points. So, whether that will total up,
But yeah, if Martinez has another season like he did last year, and he's obviously he's in great form still, he's going to be full of confidence after winning the Copa America. So
Villa are investing as well. Villa are aggressively investing money all over the field, which a lot of teams thus far have not. But I like it when teams get their players in early, because once they're in early, they get a bit of pre-season under them.
Yeah.
They bed in quicker, they hit the ground running, and those teams usually do a lot better as the season goes on. So, yeah, just for me, Martinez seemed like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Just talking about it now makes me think I need to have him in my actual team. But
probably
I have to weigh up whether it's go for a cheaper option or bank on Martinez.
Well, it's unusual for me to break my 16 years of FPL of having two 4.5 keepers. Two 4.5 playing keepers. I didn't even break it for Pope when he was like in his top form a couple of years back, but I have for Martinez.
Yeah.
So think of that what you will.
Yep. I think he's probably worth the 5.5. So.
Yeah, I think he is worth it, and I think I would have been less drawn to him if he hadn't had such a good Copa America. He kept clean sheets. He saved penalties. He was awesome.
Yeah.
And like I said, Messi telling the press that the reason they won it is all because of Martinez and how good he was and how he kept everyone calm and he G'd them up for games. That's the sort of player I want. I would like him in my in a Tottenham side, but can't have that. I can certainly have him in my predictions, my FPL side. And what a turnaround! What a turnaround for a man that was languishing. Basically, was Arsenal's third choice goalkeeper for nearly a decade.
Yeah. And what a stupid decision to go. Oh, do you know what? No, we're going to go with Leno. Yeah, well done.
Yep.
Good.
Went with Leno over the homegrown option.
Good
Martinez
work there.
Been at your club since he was 16, 17?
Yep. Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Moving on.
Moving on.
Defenders. And I'm not sure about my defender choice now because you ruined it in my team, but
I wasn't intentionally trying to do that. I was just letting you know what was going on.
Yeah. So I've gone Sifal, Mike's gone Chilwell, and Gaz has gone Diaz.
Is Diaz the most expensive defender?
Oh yeah, that's a good
I thought that
point.
would be
Yeah,
Alexander-Arnold, right?
yeah, you should have gone Trent if you were going with that.
I think Diaz will get more points.
Then Trent.
Ooh,
Oof. Look at Gaz
That's-
going all balls out.
I can't see it. I'd be surprised. Very surprised.
I think you do well.
It
Yeah,
depends, I guess. If City start as badly as they did last season, where they were like mid-table with United for like the first 11 weeks,
yeah.
then probably not. But if they hit the ground straight away and keep clean sheets, then yeah, you might be right.
I mean, out of
Yeah.
all their centre backs, he's probably the most likely to play, I know.
Yeah, I think he's got the number one slot, and it's just everyone else has to vie for the second slot next to him.
Stones and Laporte will rotate around him. Ake maybe, but
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he wasn't playing every week, because he seemed vital for them
yeah,
in the title charge race last season and to get to the Champions League final. So he has Guardiola's trust.
definitely. So yeah, it's a pretty sound choice, but I think there will be rotation there, and whether he's attacking prowess is as good as Trent or someone else, don't know.
It depends if he gets forward, right? If he can get forward like Laporte did a couple of years back, Laporte got like 5 goals, wasn't it? And he was getting clean sheets and whatnot else. I mean, although saying that, Diaz and Stones between them got what, 3, 4 each? Stones definitely got 3 goals last season. He hadn't scored in like 200 games before that.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Gaz might not be wrong. Gaz might have just made the boldest prediction. Diaz outscores Alexander-Arnold. I'll be livid if he does, because it would have saved me $1 million in my team.
Yeah. I won't be happy with that, but could happen. But Chilwell, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't play.
No, he didn't.
He didn't play all summer. So he's had a nice long rest.
He would have played if they didn't hug Gilmore. But
I guess so. Yeah, if he hadn't hugged Gilmore, he would have got at least
played.
one game.
Yep.
But Luke Shaw basically made that his own, and he never looked back really. And so yeah, I think Chilwell's got a little bit to prove, because he's going to want that slot if he's ambitious about playing for England in the World Cup.
And before going into it, you would have said either one, Shaw or Chilwell. You would have happily played either one, but
yeah, I think let's be honest. Before the Euros, everyone probably wanted Chilwell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he just won the Champions League with Chelsea. All right, he lost the FA Cup final, but since he joined Chelsea and since Tuchel had come in, he was fantastic. You know, I mean, there were times where he was dropped in favour of Alonso, but he wasn't dropped because of poor performance. He was dropped because of tactical decisions. And then he was just unreal. He got goals, he got assists, he got clean sheets, a lot of clean sheets, and he was taking a lot of set pieces for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tempted to try and find a way to squeeze him into my team. It's just obviously finding that space.
Yeah. What is it? 6?
He's 6. So he's like 0.5 cheaper than Diaz.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Again, it's a question of what I go with in terms of
the thing that puts me off is the rotation. Tuchel,
but there won't be a lot of rotation, will there? Not Chilwell.
Won't there? I mean, Tuchel's another Guardiola, isn't he? He's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to swap everyone around.
They're trying to sell Emerson, who we forgot when we were watching the Euro still played for Chelsea. He played more for Italy than he did for Chelsea.
Yep.
And Alonso was offered as part of the deal for Lukaku yesterday. So I'm sure they'll sign someone to fill that gap, or they'll bring a player in. But right now, that's literally just it's just Chilwell, and he's we haven't got to worry about him missing game week 1 due to needing to be rested. So yeah, I'm fairly confident that he'll probably be one of the top scoring defenders.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree with
For
that.
6 mil, you know, for attacking fullback, I've got high hopes for him.
Yeah, can't argue. Can't argue.
And then obviously, yeah, Sufal would be
yeah.
a great option. I'm surprised you went at 5 because you could have put him in your budget.
Well, I had Trent in originally, and then I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm just gonna mix it up a little bit. And I thought, oh yeah, nice. Sufal's a good shout. I think, like I said, earlier, last season, not having him and watching the games, he's just banging in crosses left, right, and centre, and it was quite stressful. So
yeah, he was the same at the Euros for the Czech Republic. He
exactly, yeah,
great.
Yeah. So based on that, I'm thinking, well, he's bound to get a handful of assists. He might crop up a goal here and there, and if West Ham do as well as they did last season, you could probably expect some clean sheets in there as well. So
I think so. I mean, you just at this point, you just got to hope that West Ham resolve the dispute. Otherwise, he isn't starting, and then West Ham look bad.
And then I look like a complete muppet, but
a little bit. But even worse than that for West Ham is I think their backup is Fredericks, and he's barely played. So that makes that defense look a whole lot worse.
Well, you wait till you see one of my next picks as well.
Oh well,
they're going to be
you've
awful.
Got me excited now. Gaz's are just expensive ones, right? So
yeah, one of mine's the proper crazy one that I'm kind of regretting now, especially with potential transfer news. So, but it's not my midfielder. So we get our midfielders up. Spoiler, it's my striker. But
there you go.
Yeah. So I've gone Salah, Mike's gone Sancho, and Gaz has gone Kevin De Bruyne. So Gaz is stuck with, going for the most expensive midfielder, or one of. Not that I haven't, but
he's not wrong though. De Bruyne, if De Bruyne has Harry Kane, and he's going to have Grealish, and he's going to have Foden, and Sterling, and Mahrez, and pretty much harvesting every bloody great player in the league to put a pass to, there's no reason he shouldn't be getting a bundle of assists.
Yeah.
And bonus.
The only things that put me off of him is, one, he seems to be getting little niggly injuries here and there. And two, depending on how Man City do, like towards the end of last season, he barely played because it was just a case of, we'll rest him.
Oh, they'd won the league by then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And they were focusing on Champions League.
So then even he got thrown into the rotation mix. And
he was still like the third or fourth top scoring midfielder though, right? I'm sure he was up there. I know he got 140. Oh, okay, maybe he wasn't. He was in the top 10.
He would have been up there, wouldn't he?
But yeah, he probably wasn't as high as he was because of rotation.
Oh God, yeah, he wasn't. I'm just looking now.
He didn't play the last 4 games of the season.
No, because of the injury.
Mahrez outscored him.
Yeah, Mahrez is the one though that if you pick him, you're going to have to roll with the punches that he's not going to start. So you've got to have a really good bench option.
14th highest midfielder he was last year. Some of the players to outscore him: Mahrez, Souček, Mount.
Souček. What season?
Ward-Prowse outscored him. Harrison, Dallas. Although Dallas you can't really count.
No.
He was a defender, so that points tally would have been less. Rashford, Mane, Son. Yeah.
All right. The mad thing about that is he's still 12 million.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It didn't go, we'll take his price down. Oh, no.
No.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, if you took his price down, everyone would have him in their team.
Goddamn right you would.
Yeah.
It's Kevin De Bruyne, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why. That's why. But yeah. But you've gone for a new signing, Sancho.
I like Jadon Sancho. He's such a good player. I think he's going to take the league by storm.
Mm.
He might not start the first game like Salah's first game for Liverpool. I don't think he set the world on fire. But then after about 3 or 4, 5 games, and I think Sancho's going to be that sort of player. He's in a Man United team that has got endless amount of talent around him. Rashford is out for 3 months, so that gives him more of a chance to bed in one of those slots without being sort of rotated out. Because I think if Rashford was there, Sancho would play on the right, but I'm sure he would have got hooked a lot around the hour mark for someone like Greenwood or Martial.
Yeah.
But they're not going to have, with Rashford missing, I'm sure Martial's going to go to the left, or Greenwood. Yeah, Martial or Sancho will go to the left potentially, and Greenwood will go to the right. But there's more chance of Sancho playing a lot more minutes, and that should bed him into the league quicker.
What did Sancho play at Dortmund? Was he like part of a attacking three kind of thing?
He was a part of attacking three,
and he played on
the right predominantly, if I remember.
Right.
But he had Haaland in front of him, so
yeah.
And bearing in mind, he got, I think it was something ridiculous. I think he got like 17 assists, and he got double figures for goals and assists combined. But because Haaland's in that team, we've got like 43 goals. You kind of forget about Sancho and what he delivered. So he's top quality, and he's 21 years old, and he's just one of those players. Like the fact that he barely played in the Euros just shows how strong the England side was, really.
Yeah, and I mean the German press thought we were mad not playing.
Yeah, for not playing. I'm not surprised. He was doing it apart from the beginning of the season for Dortmund because of the transfer saga last season with United, where United kept messing around, not meeting the demanded price. That's the only reason he had a bit of a slow start, but he was absolutely immense after that. And he got his move to Man United. United ended up playing, I think, like 25 million less than what was originally quoted last season, which in the grand scheme of things, 25 mil is not a huge saving. Bearing in mind that Sancho, I think, if he joined him last season, they could have won the league last season, United, with how they finished. So, yeah, I just think he's at 9.5 million as well. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be unreal. And I think he's got something to prove after the Euros as well, because he's definitely going to want to be the starter at a World Cup in like 18 months. And I'm hoping he does start well, because at 9.5, if he's like Salah originally, that price is going to rocket, and then that gives me more options to make a choice going forwards. Or for any unfortunate soul that doesn't get him early, you're not going to be able to afford him, which puts me in a great little place.
I'm tempted to have him. It's always dodgy with a new signing. You don't know how he's going to bed in. I think he'll probably bed in quite well, but
gambles. I mean, it could go badly.
But sometimes it goes really well. Sometimes they hit the floor running, and
yeah, I mean, I'm only doing it because I'm getting the same feeling for him like I did for Salah when Salah signed for Liverpool, and the same with Sancho and Salah. I've seen them play in a different league, and I know how good they are. And it's not just because they were good because it was that specific league. They're good because they are just absolutely talented. And that's sometimes the difference. You get a different feel for people, And I admit, you don't always get it right. I didn't think Soufal was going to be as much of a success as he was last season for West Ham. So you always get, and Soucek as well. Soucek, I mean, he joined West Ham on loan the season before for 6 months, but no one expected Soucek to go and get, 11 goals as a box-to-box midfielder.
Yep. Outscored De Bruyne, as I mentioned.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, there are just some players that can hit the ground running, and there are some players that you just know are going to be good. And I'm expecting that this season it will be Sancho, and quite possibly now that he's at Villa, Danny Ings. Although Ings is, used to the Premier League compared to Sancho. So
Danny Ings just got to stay fit.
I'm sure he will.
Oh, yeah.
They're not in Europe or anything. Villa, they don't need to play him every single game like Southampton did. They've got great squad. Wesley's back
true.
from injury at Villa as well.
Mm.
So got another out-and-out striker.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
Yeah, so he might be all right.
yeah, I think so.
I don't think there's anything to say about Salah, really, in my pick. I've gone for
Right.
the most obvious and safest choice there is, really.
Running down the wing, isn't he?
Yeah. But, yeah. I mean, we've proved it. We've revealed our drafts, and all three of us got Salah in, and he's captain for the first game at the moment. So
Yeah,
that
I mean,
just
it's
goes to
even
show.
Gaz has him as captain.
Yep.
So,
For the first time ever.
yeah, if you can't beat him after, 4 years, join him.
Yep.
I also had him when he first signed. I had him that season as well before Charlotte started doing it. But she kept picking him, so
Yeah,
I can have him this season.
I just had him from game week 1 because I remembered the first time when he joined Liverpool. I just remember when Tottenham played Fiorentina, and he absolutely destroyed us. And then I remember watching him play for Roma just before Liverpool signed him, and he was absolutely tearing teams apart for Roma. And I was just like, yeah, they've probably got a bargain there. And bearing in mind they only paid, what was it? I think it was like 38, 43, somewhere around there for Salah, right? And that was the season when transfers went mental. And I think that was the same year Neymar went for like 200 million, right?
Oh, God.
So, and Salah's probably pound for pound just as good as Neymar.
Oh, I'd say so, yeah.
You know, in terms of what he's brought to a team and transformed them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've won the Champions League. They've gone to the Champions League final twice in that time as well, and they've won the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
not a bad return.
Not a bad return for a 40 mil player.
Yeah. Right. So, strikers. See where I've gone completely mad.
I like you.
It's funny, isn't it?
Convenient, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got Tino Werner. I don't know why. Mike's gone Danny Ings. And Gaz has gone Harry Kane.
Do you know how little faith there is in Werner? They're signing Lukaku. That's how little faith there is in Werner.
Yeah.
And they're quite prepared to pay whatever Inter want at this point.
I keep having this feeling that because he was always kind of in the right place last year and he was a bit unlucky. And I don't know. Maybe I feel sorry for him.
No, let's not get wrong. He's a good player. It's not like he's just one of those players that you watch and you go, Christ, why did they spend this much money on him?
The thing is,
he is a great player.
It could click.
He's not going to play down the middle now, is he?
Well, that's what I mean. I didn't know about Lukaku coming until we got on to start recording this. So, yeah, that kind of throws it out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured if he clicked, and if he's had one season, he might come good this year. Then he could easily, go and get 20 odd
VAR
goals.
wasn't as harsh last year. I think I was saying it to you towards the end of the season. I think he would have counted that he got 17 extra goals in all competitions. Something stupid.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
So he was.
He did. He was quite bad at being offside, though.
Yes.
Yeah. He
but
wandered
some of them
offside
were like
a lot.
really tight calls. They weren't like, miles offside by like a yard or two.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I there is a chance he could form a great attacking three at Chelsea, but who is the attacking three going to be? It'll be a Lukaku for definite. But then, if Lukaku comes in, that pushes Havertz back. So then Chelsea are going to be the same problem as Man City, right? Because they're going to have Pulisic, Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, and that's just the ones off the top of my head. Then they've got what? Hudson-Odoi.
Giroud's gone now, isn't he? And
Giroud's gone.
Abraham's
going to be bombed out
on his way. Yeah. So.
Essentially, Lukaku is going to become the absolute talisman of that team.
Yeah,
that's what makes him slightly more appealing for me in FPL terms over Kane if Kane goes to City. Because Kane, you can envision that he'll, like De Bruyne happened last season, he'll get rested for important Champions League games. Chelsea are not going to rest Lukaku.
No.
They never used to with Drogba.
I think Chelsea will have a good season this year as well, especially if they get Lukaku as well. That will help.
That's what the only real trouble they were having, right? Goal scorer.
Mm.
Even though Abraham was doing it, they just didn't favour him for some reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Maybe Werner goes and gets the most assists this season and wins the assist medal.
Maybe. It might not be completely mad. So we'll
No,
see.
he wasn't short of confidence, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And his head never went down. He just didn't have much luck.
Yeah.
And Chelsea didn't seem to play him down the middle. They ended up, even when they weren't playing Abraham, they were playing Havertz there and still pushing Werner wide. So
I like it. Sticking by it.
yeah, get him in your team for game week 1.
I thought
You don't
about
rate
it.
Palace anyway, so get him in.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I did consider it. But yeah. Nah, 9 million is too much. Too much. Kind of makes this a silly pick, but anyway. Moving on, I guess. But yeah, you've put Danny Ings in. Obviously on the back of his move to Villa.
Yes. I didn't really have much intention of Danny Ings. And then he was confirmed to Villa today. And it changes his whole appeal. Because if he plays Ings how I imagine he's going to play Ings, which is down the middle, and Leon Bailey's going to be on the right, and Buendia as the 10, and then obviously, unfortunately, Watkins will move to the left. That makes it such a good attacking 4 that Ings will get a lot more service, far more than he was ever getting at Southampton. And that makes him like a really exciting proposition. As much as you lot always picked him for Southampton and just go, well, he's a proven goal scorer, but he still struggled to get service, whereas he's not going to have that trouble here. So I think he's one to really, really look out for. I think he's going to make a huge difference.
And he's come down in price from last year.
Yeah, I think he was 8.5 last year.
Yeah, so for 8 mil, it's not bad.
That's what I'm saying. It's a pick worth bearing in mind, and I'm seriously considering him for my team eventually. But I also I think he's a great player, and I think he's going to get a lot more points this season playing for Villa than he would have if he was starting the season with Southampton.
Agreed. Yeah. Can't argue with that.
No. I mean, he'll probably get injured after his first game for the club in 7 months, but...
Yeah, probably.
Got to risk it, ain't I?
Yeah, I guess. It's fine. I could tank you. Like I said, I'll put him on my team and he will get injured because that's what normally happens. So
that's fine. It's just a yearly prediction. As long as it doesn't tank my actual FPL team, I'll live with it.
Yeah. Cool. Good. But yeah, I guess lastly, Harry Kane. Gaz's choice.
Yes, picked the most defensive striker, didn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, it's a good shout. You can't argue with it because it's the obvious pick, isn't it?
Well, I mean, he got top assists and top goals last season, right?
Yeah. I guess the only problem at the moment is where will he be? Will he ever come back from holiday? There's all these questions at the moment.
Gaz seems certain he will come back.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he's done. Maybe he's like, oh no, I'm just gonna stay in Florida.
Gonna run a pub by the beach.
Maybe. Take up American football or baseball or something.
He wants to be a kicker for the NFL.
See, maybe a go there early. So.
Maybe. I mean, kickers can play until in their 40s. So,
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he does become a kicker after he retires from football.
Yeah.
But I won't be supporting him because of what he's just done to Tottenham. It's all right. People will forgive him. They forgave Gareth Bale, didn't they? So
Yeah. I mean, you do realise it could be Daniel Levy's the problem, but
he's not the problem, is he? Not in this instance.
well, maybe. You know,
For the first time ever, Daniel Levy, his stance mirrors what should be the Tottenham fan stance. Kane has 3 years left on his contract. He has a market value, which we believe to be in the realm of £150 million, and that value should be met. That's it. No, nothing else. Man City made an opening offer, which was, I think, the same that they offered for Grealish, which was 100 million. It's not enough. It's not enough for the top scorer and top assister, a man who's got nearly 20 goals every season for like the last 5 years. It's not enough. And people going, oh yeah, well, you know, it's Daniel Levy's fault. It's not. That's what the club should be doing. That is a top end world class player, and he has a value. We shouldn't just go, oh well, yeah, all right. What are you going to give us? That'll do. No, no, that's not how it works.
You're gonna drag him down with you.
We're not going to drag him down. I'm sure he'll get his move, but we'll get the money that we should rightfully get. The only concern is Tottenham are not doing what Aston Villa are doing and just gone out and bought the players that they envision either would play with Kane or without him. So go out and buy. If you want an extra striker, go and buy him now before you get the Kane money. Because in that way, you're not going to get your pants pulled down for a £40 million striker suddenly becoming 65, 70. And I lay money if Villa had waited before trying to go for Ings and Leon Bailey would have cost an extra 10, 15 million. Ings would have definitely cost an extra 15, 20 million. Even if he was in the last year of his contract, because teams know they can do it because you're desperate, the deadline's coming up, and they'll you know, your pants come down and they laugh you all the way to the bank.
Yep.
2 words, Andy Carroll.
Yeah, there you go. For Liverpool.
Yep.
35 million
Classic.
for Andy Carroll.
See? Gaz remembers.
Yep. That was after. Was that after they sold Torres?
They sold Torres, and then they panic bought Carroll, who was a failure, but they got
Suarez,
Suarez, who was a success.
Yeah. That turned
Although
out well.
no one expected Suarez to be a success because he'd come from Ajax, and everyone was like, it's a Mickey Mouse league, isn't it?
Yeah. Plus Torres was awful at Chelsea, so that 50 million looked like an absolute steal.
Eventually,
for, Liverpool.
Not early doors, it didn't.
Did he? I don't know. He didn't do. I don't remember him ever doing that well.
What, Liverpool?
At Chelsea.
He won the league from.
Oh, I understand that Chelsea didn't do great, but obviously early doors when Liverpool sold him, fans were not happy.
He was great for Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was amazing for Liverpool. Yeah.
I mean, it just didn't.
But they sold him at the right time by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Like they knew something.
I don't want to lose Kane, but if he doesn't want to be here and he's deliberately, I mean, he's almost sullened completely. He's you know how much he was idolised by doing what he's doing, and I don't think he realises how bad it's going to be. It's like when any player does this, you don't down tools, and you just need that money invested wisely. Now, I'm not saying, you know, we don't know if Aston Villa has invested it wisely. Maybe they haven't. Maybe all of the players they've gone and bought will be failures. But on paper, it looks wise because they've done it before Grealish has gone. We haven't. So we're going to overpay for some players, and they're probably going to be bad. You know, when we bought 7 players with the money that we got from selling Gareth Bale, Vlad Kirikesh was one of those players. And fuck me, how that man's a professional footballer, I will never know.
He can't get Danny Ings now. Weren't he
No,
supposed to be one of the
apparently we didn't go for
replacements?
Danny Ings because his demands were too much.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
don't know what that means, to be honest, with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. How can Villa afford it, but we can't?
It's worrying, isn't it?
But yeah, so I'm sure Kane will get his move. He is a good pick. I don't know if he's a good pick for us. Well, he's probably a good pick for a season in terms of what Gaz picked him for. I don't think I will be picking him for my team or any sort of top scoring, our player picks for the weeks for at least the first 5 game weeks.
No.
Because this is going to drag out towards the end of the window, and he's going to need a couple of games to hit the ground running.
Yeah. But if he does go to C, yeah, you can see him. Like you said, De Bruyne are setting him up.
Yeah,
he's going to get goals.
He shouldn't be like what he is now, right? I mean, if he managed to do that in a shite Tottenham side last season, imagine what he could do with all of that talent around him.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
So, Gaz might be right. Gaz might be the only one who picks him because we can't afford to get to him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Gaz tends to go more rogue than us two. I might not pick him because I'm being a stubborn dick, because I'm angry that he did that to us and then he left by being a mingy bitch. So I might have my worst season again and back to being a good old average FPLer.
Just because you wouldn't pick Harry Kane.
Just because I wouldn't pick Harry Kane. And I bloody will be that stubborn.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd kind of agree with it. Yeah. But I mean, he's done a good service for you, so you've got to give him that.
I understand service. I understand all of it. I understand that he wants to move to win things.
Yeah.
No one begrudged him that at the end of the season. No one begrudged Eriksen when he said at the end of the season a couple of years back, I want a new challenge. Fair enough. But you don't down tools. You don't not turn up to training. You don't do all the things that his fucking brother keeps doing. You just don't do it. You just it feels like he's trying to copy Raiola, Pogba's agent, who's a fucking knob. And no, you don't do that. But they're choosing to, and I don't think they realise it's Daniel Levy.
Did Berbatov do it when he left?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And Daniel Levy dragged that out right until the final day of the transfer window, which absolutely fucked us.
Yeah.
But we got what we were asking for from United, which was 32 million. I don't like Berbatov on that basis, but everyone forgave Berbatov, and he's revered. I don't,
Oh, yeah.
Bale's the only one I've he down tools as well and refused to train, but that was mostly because he had made it quite clear he wanted out as soon as Real Madrid made an offer, and then all that happened there is we just, we pushed for a record fee, which we got. And as far as I'm concerned, we should get a record fee for Kane.
Yeah, probably should.
No ifs and buts. If Grealish is worth 100, Kane's worth more than that. He's the England captain. And he's got 3 years left on his contract. It's not like Ings, a year left. He's got 3 years left on his deal. And some numpty the other day was going, oh, well, it's like modern slavery. You're like, Kane's on more than £200,000 a week. That's not slavery.
Plus, he signed the contract. So,
yeah. Signed a 6-year deal. Yeah. He didn't ask for any minimum fee release. Like, apparently Grealish's one does have a minimum fee release of 100. That's why it's there.
There you go.
If you wanted that, it's just for some reason in the last, since Mourinho come in, his head's changed. He's gone from being, I want to be here, win titles here, and win things here, and stay here forever. To, I want to go. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, probably Mourinho's rubbed off on him a little bit there.
Mourinho effect, isn't it?
Yep.
Turns there, poisons everything, fucks off.
Yep.
Awesome. Anyway, good luck, Roma.
Yeah.
Good luck. I fucking need it.
Yeah, give it 6 months to a year, and everyone will hate him, and Roma will be, up shit's creek.
Probably. Just,
I don't know. But yeah, cool. Right. Well, I guess that brings us to an end. So I guess I should wrap up. Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. Hopefully you liked our predictions. Hopefully it helps making some choices towards the start of the season. We'll be back next week with a look at game week 1 and player predictions for game week 1. So
and a completely set of different lineups.
Exactly. Yeah, probably, because now after all this talking, I'm probably going to change my whole team. So there you go. But yeah, cool. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you very soon. Bye.
Ta-ta.
All right.